Throughout human history, each new era of technology has reshaped how we connect. From mainframes to mobile, from cloud to AI, with each leap forward came an explosion of APIs. But as the ecosystem grew, so did the fragmentation. And in an agentic world, fragmentation means failure. A new era is upon us. APIs aren't just connections, but the lifeblood of intelligent systems, the infrastructure for innovation, and the foundation of tomorrow's economy. Now, we come together to imagine what's next and explore what's possible, to build today the things that will shape the world of tomorrow. Welcome to API Summit 2025.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to API Summit in New York. Today, I'm not going to talk to you about the next great API platform, because the AI revolution is upon us. Let's go back a few years. I was planning a trip. It was October. I had to go back to Italy and also have customer visit in South Africa. It took me forever. I had to go through the booking site, I had to go through my apps, what's the weather, what should I pack, how long should I stay, this place versus the other ones, and so on and so forth. This is probably the UI-based experience that we have consumed internet in the last 30 years. That's probably what you do a lot of times, a couple of times a year, sometimes a couple of times a month. Today is very different. Today you pick up your favorite chat of the day, you ask, and in a few minutes, they tell you how long you should stay, what you should pack, what's the weather. They even can come ahead and tell you, oh, you actually need an adapter in South Africa, which at that time I forgot. It's a whole different way on how we consume. But let's go back to Yellow Pages. Maybe a lot of you are not even born when it was Yellow Pages. But Yellow Pages was the first time where businesses give a programmatic access to their information. At that time, it was just contact information, a phone number, address. It was the beginning. For sure, there were no APIs back then. And then we brought that online. The internet boom. At first, were just Yellow Pages brought up online, static website, more website, and eventually, Steve Jobs comes on stage, 2008, not this stage. And boom, announced the iPhone. And after that, the App Store mania came. And a lot of our businesses start to rush through building those applications. That was just another way to connect with customers, to build new delivery models. At that point, the inflection point of API sprawl started. We start to build APIs, we start to wrap our business logic to make sure we could build applications on top. Then, this room really led with developer platforms. We start to have APIs. We wanted to expose some of this API to strategic partner. We wanted to expose some APIs to third-party long-tail developers. We wanted even to re-expose this internally. So here comes the developer platforms, 1, 2, 3, and more API comes, private, public, partner. And now, it's another medium. It's the agentic era. Every business will become agentic. Like 2 decades ago, when application came about, we rushed to build our infrastructure to have our own apps. And now we rush to build agents to be part of this AI wave. what happened at every shift? It looks like human solves problems by just adding more APIs every time there is a new technology shift. It's more API traffic, it's more APIs. But you all have digital assets. That's your core IP. It comes back decades ago, something new, somewhere is old. Some are brand new API. Sometimes we wrap it with new APIs. But are really everything exposed through an API? That's obviously the obvious question. But if you look inside in your company, you know that not 100% of your infrastructure is an API today. And then, even if you have hundreds of thousands of APIs, you also know that they're not truly in one single place. They are all over the place. Sometimes you have team members in other business units somewhere else that have their own things. But here's the issue now. If we don't have our IP APIfied, if they're not all in one place, how the agents are able to consume it? And if agents are not able to consume, how we can be part of this new economy? So we all know that we have to prepare the API infrastructures for this era. And actually, you all have worked the last decades, the last few years, to prepare and APIfy your companies. And of course, they need to be discoverable and consumable. But now they have to be discoverable and consumable for machines, different scale. And of course, they have to be secure and reliable. But now they have to be secure and reliable for machines. And then context is coming to the APIs. MCP is the USB-C of agents. The other day I was on Zoom. I finished my Zoom, and my mother-in-law comes. What is this thing you talk all the time, MCP? What the hell it does? And I say, well, it's like Duolingo for APIs. Makes them speak English. This is a completely transformative change. We've been building APIs for the last years for developers, and now we have MCP for agents and LLMs. At the core is always APIs, but different protocol, different interface. You have now not just a RESTful, nicely designed, open API spec programming interface. Now you have all this protocol coming at us. MCP is one, HOA is another one. There will be more. I bet there will be dozens of different protocols in the near future. But now it's more important than ever to bring it all together. If you don't have all the APIs, all the services in one place, how the agents will find them? Where is the one place to rule them all? We're thinking how, okay, the AI is coming. We have to think like railroads. We are deploying railroads. 150 years ago, Vanderbilt from New York City became one of the biggest builders, bringing railroads from the east to the west. Railroads were deployed before even trains arrived, so we can supply all that demands. We are the modern railroads. We all want the APIs in one place. And the truth to this, and I think all of you have built this, but there is also massive fragmentation still in a lot of customers I talk to. Yes, we have the platform teams that have different management systems from different business units, different part of the companies, big companies. And this to work, as to all comes together, we do APIs to connect. And then we go get different systems that don't connect to each other. That's insane. We have to bring it all together. And we've always been working through this, but the urgency is right now is the why now that is increasing. There is a dramatic shift, massive dramatic shift ahead of us. What is different now? Before, we can have different systems powering different teams, different applications, way more siloed. But today, AI is going to go across all your company. Agents are going across all the data in a company. They cannot be siloed. If they're siloed, they won't be able to access it. Today, the system of record is more important than ever. It's a universal railroads because it's not anymore one app talking with one backend, having their own gateways over there, and another apps over here with another backend, having their own gateways over here. Agents and AI will consume horizontally. That's a big shift. And for that to happen, it has to be all together. Another big shift that is powering really all of this, you saw at the beginning, we're still consuming internet very UI-driven. We click, we scroll, we look. But agents don't have to click, scroll, and look. So the gravitas is moving from user interfaces to programming interfaces. And that's a very material shift. In fact, who knows, maybe API one day will go from applications programming interface to agentic programming interface. We say here first, if somebody would say it in 5 years, huh? All testing, all aware. This is another big shift. Then, when I saw this at closed door events a year ago, I just had it to share with the whole company, share it with the customer I walked through. API calls to large language models, calling other language models through APIs. This is not just the future of the #1 company in the world. This is the future of this room. APIs are the nervous system of AI, are the bloodstream of AI. And it's not just about APIs. As I mentioned before, there is so many different pieces that have to be consumed. They're like food for agents, from MCP server, obviously directly large language model, event stream, server-side events, HTTP streaming. It's moving so fast, and it's complicating all our connectivity challenges because it's not anymore about upload your open API spec. Yes, it is today, but it's coming so fast that it won't be just that. It is already not just that today. That's another dramatic shift. And when agents are going to consume internet, that is not going to be as we know it. It's not going to be UIs anymore. It will be, but it's not that material. The scale, it's something that today is very hard to comprehend. Google earnings, just in May, the CEO showed these charts. That's how intelligence moves around the world. And yes, this is Google scale. But even a Google scale looks at the inflection points. 50x in a year, we went to processing 480 trillions of tokens so fast. It's public information. But what's crazy is that last month, it went again and updated those numbers. In just a few months, a summer went by. And that number is now 1 quadrillion and 300 trillion. This is insane. In no economy we ever talks about quadrillion. The GDP of the world is 100 trillion. This is the first time in an industry, in an economy, that we have to start to think quadrillions. And it's quadrillions a month. And not too long will pass that same CEO will go on stage and will say, we're doing 1 quadrillion per hour. That's the scale. In the cloud-native API world that is going to be with us for a long time, 1 billion API calls is a lot of calls. Once we move to intelligence through APIs, we talk tokens. We go into quadrillions. Huge hockey sticks. That's a whole different scale that we have to prepare the infrastructure for. That's to say that it's not just about API traffic. It's also about AI traffic. We have to think both worlds. Because the big bet here, the big idea is that they are actually converging. When you run an API calls, you have tokens in the headers, in the payloads, maybe less secure. You always proxy tokens. So this traffic is converging. We are basically going from API calls to tokens. And it's the platform teams that eventually will be elevated to this new area and manage it at all. We are really building the connectivity layer of AI. And I don't know if this is going to become a new category or not. But I feel very strongly that something bigger than ourselves is coming at us, and it's AI connectivity. APIs is how you solve it. It's not APIs for the sake of APIs. APIs are the ears of the mouth of AI. We are building the connectivity layer of AI. We go from thinking millions and billions of calls to thinking quadrillions of calls. And it's happening so fast. It's not 5 years from now. It's happening right now. But where do we control all of this? What is the control tower for managing API traffic, AI traffic, tokens, calls, LLM, MCP servers? Right? How do we govern it all together? Of course, we want to govern and manage the traffic layer all together. But also, I know this is so complicated. There is so many AI solutions out there. So let me show a simplified way of where do we play. I mean, we, not just Kong, but we as the crowd here. Of course, at the bottom, you have the cloud infrastructures, you have AI technologies, and all of that. But as you build the AI stack of the company, you have foundations models, large language models, small language models. You have the cloud platforms. You want to deploy and scale those models. You have the data platform, very important. How do we feed AI through data? And each of those, there is vendors, there are technology solutions, and so on. On top of it, we have inference, bringing the models at the edge, so we can build our edge models APIs. And then, of course, we have a data hub as well, so we can discover all the data. And we're powering not just website anymore. We're powering applications. And we're powering AI agents. Now there is a new entity to feed. So how we will glue and connect all together, that's where the connectivity stacks is. Semantic caching, semantic routing, governance and security at the edge, guardrails, AI CDNs. All of this is getting repositioned for the AI era. And we as a Kong, that's where we see the future. And that's what we want to build with all of you, the AI connectivity platform for this era. But now, what happened to microservices? We're still here. They're still here. We still have microservices. We're still going to create a lot. Cloud native is not going anywhere. It's just that we have now another entity that we have to manage that produce traffic. It's the LLMs, and will be agents. And so, if you think about it, what happened here? We had one or two microservices. We built connectivity logic into those. Then we have more and more. We had Python, we have Go, we have Java. And at some point, it didn't make sense to keep building connectivity logic in our backends. So we abstracted. And we put out the traffic layer, the control tower, and the platform engineering was born, and gateway patterns came about to proxy mainly REST APIs to power applications. This is the cloud native world. It's one side of the world. And today, you can see here, the same things are happening. At first, we had one LLM, and now I'm seeing talking with customers, they have dozens, small, medium, custom, cloud, open source. And we started building the connectivity logic into LangChain, whatever it is. And we're starting to abstract at the traffic layer because we don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again. So the same pattern that happens in the cloud native world is now happening in the Agentic AI. And we're going from an API gateway partner plus an AI gateway pattern. It's a plus, because we have applications and we have agents now. But this is the bet that what happened in the microservices is going to happen now in large language models. Connectivity logic gets reinvented over again. At some point, it's too much. And we abstract it up at the traffic layer. And that's really our visions of how we want to bridge both worlds. We're helping customer going from pre-cloud, monolith architectures, all the way to the cloud in a cloud-native world. Once again, want to move it to the agentic era whenever they're ready, so we can play both worlds. That's our focus. Whatever comes next will be with you. That's what we're building, is the unified API and AI platform. Because remember, we got two traffic now. We got API traffic and AI traffic. And they're coming together. And at the core, on the bottom, is the middlewares. They're all unified. You can pick your battles, whatever gateway you want for any use case. You have streaming. Here's your event gateway. Your API cloud on AWS. Here's your Kong API gateway on AWS, fully native. There's another team down there that has $1 billion of some other credits. Here's other cloud provider here for you. Here's GCP. Here is Azure. You still have encrypted traffic on-prem. Here's your hybrid gateway. You can pick any flavor you want. You have a little bit of tokens and experiments coming up. Here's the AI and MCP gateway. But the beauty of how it's designed is that it's all coming together into a unified management plane. So whatever runtime you pick, whatever gateway you have, it all comes together in an end-to-end security and governance, discoverability, and consumability platforms. And on top of it, you have all these amazing applications that helps you do more, whether it's observability or security. But now it's also agents. We're releasing a lot of agents. You'll see in those days, very exciting, about how you can do more, how you can make a platform superhero. And of course, even in the era of AGI, in AGI, of course, the developer portal, we still want the best developers portals. But now, it's also about how we publish MCP servers. It changed as well, too. The beauty of this platform is that it doesn't really exist in the world anything like it. It's programmable. It's programmable at the core of the control plane, is manageable at the applications level. So the ability to extend new feature set, whatever comes next, whatever protocol comes next, whatever pattern comes next, it can be added very quickly, but it all comes together through our programmatic management plane. It's unique because we envision a world with multiple type of APIs, multiple type of traffic, multiple type of cloud platform, multiple type of hybrid platform, on-prems. You have APIs everywhere. We just want to bring it together. Why? Because we cannot truly have a system of record otherwise. And if we don't have a system of records, we will miss the agentic era, like Yellow Pages. This is Konnect today. We hear a lot is the unified API and AI platforms, but it's not just for APIs anymore. It's for LLM traffic, for MCP traffic, for edge, for events. It all comes together. This is Konnect today. Brings it all together. So this is the connectivity era, and we went from API connectivity to AI connectivity. But it's not anymore connecting APIs. It's about connecting the agentic world. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. Forgot. In this new era, API monetization is more important than ever. Have you seen those quadrillions of traffic going up? Well, a lot of those are monetized. It's not free. And a lot of those already makes billions of dollars in extra revenue. For example, Anthropic just announced it 2 quarters ago that their APIs is on $1 billion run rate revenue. In a few years, will become 10 billion, will become 100 billion. Their revenue is going to go through APIs, is going to be crazy. Monetization of API has always been there, but now, because of AI, is more important than ever. Because AI monetization, if you look at the core, it's really API monetizations. Agents, at some point, will transact via APIs, will do their stuff, they will use the API to run their workflows. If they have to pay some tolls, they will pay some toll, but they will pay it programmatically. They will have a budget assigned, and they will just go for it. But it will all happen programmatically. But AI billing will be API billing, because at the core, it's always a programming interface. The issue is that API billing is actually not a payment problem. There's a bunch of great payment gateways out there. It's actually a metering problem. At that scale, 1 millisecond of double counting something might be $1 million extra bill. There is no bugs in metering for billing. Because of 1 quadrillion calls, 1 minute off, it's a whole different invoice. So as API traffic and AI traffic are converging, we got lucky to acquire OpenMeter, leading developers' billing and metering system earlier, and we announced it in September. And guess what? It's already integrated in Konnect. And so let's get the founder, the co-founder, Peter Martin, on stage with OpenMeter. There it is.
Hey, Aggie, nice to see you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
So how all of this started? How you got into this, quadrillion counting of metering and billing?
Yeah, so we started OpenMeter with the idea that we want to build the most developer-friendly and real-time usage-based billing solution. The OpenMeter team used to work at Netflix observability and Stripe chargeback use cases, and we combined the two together, and we joining Kong. We are really elevating this to the next level to build the best AI and API monetization solution.
Should we demo it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's show the audience. So what you are seeing on the screen, this is the Konnect AI and API platform. And for the sake of this demo, imagine that you are one of the major US airlines, and you want to start to sell flight data to your partners. I have a gateway running here. This is an API gateway. And we have a couple of endpoints.
And it's serverless, right? You don't have to manage anything.
Yeah, this is serverless. This is all running in the cloud, managed by Kong. So we have a couple of endpoints here that are interesting for us because we want to start to sell to our partners, like the list flight, the get flight, and the LLM that's powered by one of the foundation models and consuming tokens. So let's go to the new metering and billing product. The first thing you can notice on this screen, that at the bottom, I have 2 switches that enabled. That's how easy it is to start to meter Kong AI and API gateway traffic. So now the traffic flowing into the meters automatically. Let's open one of the meters. So what you can see here, I'm going to group by the route names, and we are going to filter for some of our partners. And you can already see that these partners are consuming these APIs, list flight, get flight, and the LLMs. Let's see how we can monetize them.
There's no delayed flight API?
So it will be really easy to add delayed flight in the Kong platform, but it's a good question because we also allow to bring in external traffic. So this is not just for Kong AI and API gateways. If you want to monetize your storage usage, your compute usage, or even success-based pricing, that's all possible. Let's see how we can turn those requests into revenue. So what you can see on the screen is the product catalog of the Kong metering and billing. Here, basically, you can filter for the subset of the API request and AI request. You can see we are filtering only for 200 status codes because probably you don't want to monetize errors. And that way, you have a really flexible way to monetize a subset or all of your traffic. I'm going to go into the packaging part of it. And let's open this Pro plan that I created earlier today. On the rate cards, you can see that we are pricing both the AI input and output tokens per unit. We are charging 0.002. And for the API request, we are also charging usage-based. The great thing about the Kong metering and billing, that using only the user interface, you can really easily price and package your product. And you can even change that. So for example, if I click this and we decide going forward we want to sell differently, maybe we want to change the pricing model, even to flat fee, volume-based, tier-based, package, and a lot more.
Hey, this is awesome. So you're saying there is API calls traffic, tokens traffic, they're merging. You can monetize each as you like, and in a few clicks, you can pick whatever billing and business model you want with the traffic is coming through, you're done?
Exactly, and let me show one more thing, because it's not just about the pricing. A modern pricing page, you can see a lot of check marks, lots of usage limits, lots of other things to control cost. So in the Kong metering and billing, that's also possible to describe those check marks and usage limits. For example, if for this token, this is the input token I am pricing right now, you want to put a limit, maybe monthly, daily, you want to be like only be allow 1 million in this specific plan, that's also possible. Let's see what happens if we give this plan to one of our customers. So I'm opening this Skylytics partner. They have this subscription running. You can see those prices that I just showed you. And even they have access to the premium AI model. So they already have that entitlement provisioned. And if I opening one of these invoices, that what you are going to see that all of those prices are applied against the usage. This is fully automatically calculated in real time. So if you will see the numbers changing, that's because we have traffic sent against this. Earlier, without a platform like the Kong metering and billing, finance teams has to ask the usage data from the data team, then they have to apply the prices manually, which is really error prone and can really lead into revenue leakage. So this is fully automated. And then the system can synchronize these items.
It's only $300?
Well, we just started this like not that long time ago, but I'm sure the partner will send more requests. So we have integrations for external systems, like popular payment gateways, ERPs, CRMs. Even with the custom invoicing, you can connect it to your own enterprise ERP solutions. But those invoices you have seen will be automatically synchronized to the payment gateway for automatic revenue collection. So the Kong metering and billing with the ERP solution can support both your sales-led monetization and with like a credit card provider like Stripe can also support your more self-service automated revenue collection.
That's awesome.
That's what I wanted to show to the audience. So thank you for having me here.
So Konnect, starting from today, will be the only platform where you can do billing and metering and enforcement of traffic in the same place. You can overlay rate limiting, throttling, IP blocking with billing and monetizations on top. There is no other platform like that. That's the beauty of merging billing and metering with gateways. Now, if we go back on the slide, we talk about the connectivity for the agentic era, for the agentic world. If we can get back to the slides, maybe did I screw up? Oh yeah, that's weird. I did screw up. So that, where did I was? Oh yeah, it is. So metering and billing is how we power the AI connectivity era. It's available today. I want it. It's available for early access. So if you pick up your phone and take a pictures there, you will get, there is only, I think, 50 early access available. And that will go through November, and that will go through GA by Christmas, like a nice Christmas present. And you will be able to use it and run it and do exactly any monetization, any billing you want in a few minutes. So connecting the agentic worlds, we got through the life cycles. We speak a lot of those life cycles. I know it's builds, it's run, it's discover, it's govern. We do it for the cloud native era. That's what we've been doing it. Now we're going to do it for the agentic era. As API and AI traffic are converging, we're building this AI connectivity layer. And let me tell you something. When we go talk to technology leaderships and building the connectivity layer of AI, because everybody's so crazy about AI, the technology leaders will be way more responsive to the ask, to increasing investments, because that's where the world is going. So it's an amazing tools that we have in our hands. But it's not anymore about build, run, discover, and govern. Now it's also about monetize. Thank you, everyone.